His mom and dad called him Gus. They were making enchiladas in the kitchen. A piece of stained glass by the sink read in bubbly letters, "Family is forever." His mom was putting chicken in the tortillas, which his dad then rolled up and placed in the glass pan. They didn't seem too surprised by my arrival, which made sense. The fact that Augustus made me feel special did not necessarily indicate that I was special. Maybe he brought home a different girl every night to show her movies or fill her up. "This is Hazel Grace," he said, by way of introduction. "Just Hazel," I said. "How's it going, Hazel?" asked Gus's dad. He was tall, almost as tall as Gus, and skinny in a way that parentally aged people usually aren't. "Okay," I said. "How was Isaac's support group?" "It was incredible," Gus said. "You're such a Debbie Downer," his mom said. "Hazel, do you enjoy it?" I paused a second, trying to figure out if my response should be calibrated to please Augustus or his parents. "Most of the people are really nice," I finally said. "That's exactly what I found with families at Memorial when we were in the thick of it with Gus's treatment," his dad said. "Everybody was so kind, strong too. In the darkest days, the Lord puts the best people into your life. Quick, give me a throw pillow and some thread because that needs to be an encouragement," Augustus said, and his dad looked a little annoyed. But then Gus wrapped his long arm around his dad's neck and said, "I'm just kidding, Dad. I like the freaking encouragements. I really do. I just can't admit it because I'm a teenager." His dad rolled his eyes. "You're joining us for dinner, I hope?" asked his mom. She was small and brunette and vaguely mousy. "I guess," I said. "I have to be home by 10. Also, I don't, eat meat." "No problem. We're vegetarianized some," she said. "Animals are just too cute?" Gus asked. "I want to minimize the number of deaths I am responsible for," I said. Gus opened his mouth to respond, but then stopped himself. His mom filled the silence. "Well, I think that's wonderful." They talked to me for a bit about how the enchiladas were famous Waters enchiladas and not to be missed, and about how Gus's curfew was also 10, and how they were inherently distrustful of anyone who gave their kids curfews other than 10. "And was I in school?" "She's a college student," Augustus interjected. "And how the weather was truly and absolutely extraordinary for March, and how in spring all things are new. And they didn't even once ask me about the oxygen or my diagnosis, which was weird and wonderful." And then Augustus said, "Hazel and I are going to watch V for Vendetta so you can see her filmic doppelganger. Mid-2000s Natalie Portman. The living room TV is yours for the watching," his dad said happily. "I think we're actually gonna watch it in the basement." His dad laughed. "Good try, living room." "But I want to show Hazel Grace the basement," Augustus said. "Just Hazel," I said. "So show just Hazel the basement," said his dad. "And then come upstairs and watch your movie in the living room." Augustus puffed out his cheeks, balanced on his leg, and twisted his hips, throwing the prosthetic forward. "Fine," he mumbled. I followed him down carpeted stairs to a huge basement bedroom. A shelf at my eye level reached all the way around the room, and it was stuffed solid with basketball memorabilia. Dozens of trophies with gold plastic man-made jump shot, or dribbling or reaching for a layup toward an unseen basket. There were also lots of signed balls and sneakers. "I used to play basketball," he explained. "You must have been pretty good." "I wasn't bad, but all the shoes and balls are cancer perks." He walked toward the TV, where a huge pile of DVDs and video games were arranged into a vague pyramid shape. He bent at the waist and snatched a V for Vendetta. I was like, the prototypical white Hoosier kid, he said. I was all about resurrecting the lost art of the mid-range jumper. But then one day I was shooting free throws. Just standing at the foul line at the Nurse Center gym shooting from a rack of balls. All at once. I couldn't figure out why I was methodically tossing a spherical object through a toroidal object. It seemed like the stupidest thing I could possibly be doing. I started thinking about little kids putting a cylindrical peg through a circular hole, and how they do it over and over again for months when they figure it out, and how basketball was basically just a slightly more aerobic version of that same exercise. Anyway, for the longest time, I just kept sinking free throws. I hit 80 in a row, my all-time best, but as I kept going, I felt more and more like a 2-year-old. And then, for some reason, I started to think about hurdlers. Are you okay?